So this is an interview with Highgate Gospel Choir. We're here today with members, most of the original members of the 40-year reunion legacy choir for Highgate Gospel Choir. So good to see you all here looking so young and fresh. And I'm excited to talk to you and get to know you better, and for people at home to get to know you better too. And one of the things that always comes up is like the origin stories. Who was the first person? Who do you remember seeing first? Does anyone have an interesting take on the first time the choir got together and that story that brings you all together as a choir originally? I know who I'd go to naturally, Pastor Henderson, because she's the mother of the...
I'm trying to remember when we all got together.
What's your first memory? So the choir, my first time I went to rehearsal, the first time we came together as a group and realised we were a choir.
We went to... help me with the name of that building.
Was it the
Friends Meeting House. There was only, I'm not even sure how many of us there were at the time. There were just a few of us. Because it was gospel harmony from Munn Street and then a few from the Jacksons and the Campbells. That was it. So, and don't ask me what the first song was.
That's okay. But this put me in the time frame. What year was this then? 1970s.
It was in the 70s. It was yeah. It was. No, it wasn't in the 80s. It was in the 70s.
So if you look
78, 79.
I think the first song that we sang was "Look Where the Lord Has Brought Me From." Remember? By the Edwin Hawkins Singers. Want to backtrack on that? Pardon? Yeah, look where the Hawkins Singers, look where the Lord has brought me from. He brought me from a mighty long way. That was one of the first songs that we rehearsed.
So help me pick, because I was born a couple of years after that. I'm 1984, so I'm not that far away. But paint a picture for me. What was the music scene like then? What songs were you hearing? What tapes, LPs were you listening to?
Well, we were, as young people, we were going down to CLC. As soon as an LP came out, like Hawkins or Andre Crouch or Danny Bell, or the Thompson Community Choir, we were down there. I mean, we missed going down to meeting up at CLC. Back in the day, you'd meet people from other churches, and I saw everybody definitely from Birmingham remember CLC. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in terms of what was on the Birmingham scene, you know, the singers, the choirs, the groups, what was happening then?
There was the Aberdeen Street Choir, Church of God of Prophecy. There was Living Water from Seventh-day Adventists. They were very good. And we had the Majestic Singers, which were amazing. And think of anybody else? Those are the top groups in Birmingham at the moment. And then there were the Triplets, because they did the BBC Real Lives recording with us. Yeah, Revelation, weren't they?
So it sounds like a kind of rich era of gospel music in this area, doesn't it? There's a lot of things happening. Because you think now, 2024, you can probably pull a few names out, but there's not many established groups or choirs or that are really doing a lot like what you guys are doing then. In terms of, you started singing, you had a quite meteoric rise to success in terms of I've seen video clips of you guys doing some great, we can talk about it more, but I've seen video clips of you do some amazing things that probably haven't even been replicated today by current artists. What would you think was the trigger or the main reason why you guys just somehow managed to just get into the limelight and steal the show wherever you went?
We were fervent and committed to our singing, and Pamela McIntyre, our director, classically trained, and her brother, the late Fritz McIntyre, who was also the keyboard player for Simply Red. He knew sort of like the jazz and the soul, and when they both came together, there was a fusion. So it gave us a unique sound as a choir. And then Pam would teach us 5 and 6 part harmony, which made us unique, because no other choirs at that time were singing with those extra harmonies. And so you'd have voices of about 15 that sound about 40 because of that, I think that resonance it made. Yeah.
So obviously, I'm looking back. Me and Lorraine have been watching some of the footage back, and we've seen stuff that you guys did. What was in terms of your favourite memories at the time? And anyone can answer. But like, what were some of the major memories you look back at after even the 40 years and think, wow, I can't believe we did that. I can't believe we were on that show. What are those things for you that you remember really critical moments in your time?
I think for me, the choir really boosted when we sang with Matty Moss Clark. That really, she taught us how to sing in a more American way, I suppose. So that was where we learnt to be able to really push our voices to the rafters, really. So that was...
So Matty Moss Clark, the mother of the Clark sisters, was working with you guys?
Yeah.
See, I never even knew that. I mean, that's crazy, that is. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it was at Central Hall, and all the other choirs were there as well. But we were fortunate that she actually picked us out and to be on the front, and also to sing in Aberdeen Street with her as well. So we were picked out by her.
Wow. That's amazing, that is. I mean, obviously, there's loads of stuff that's happened over the time, but is there any other memories, any enjoyment? I've got pictures in my mind of you guys going to Scotland. Well, that's a story for someone funny for you to tell, not for me to tell. But I've got pictures in my mind of seeing you having Cilla Black dancing while you're singing. There's loads of memories that I've seen of you guys. But what at the time, it's different when you're in the moment, because I've watched it back and it's just like, oh, that's nice, that is. But you going to Pebble Mill, going on that stage, singing on TV, and probably going back to work the next day as normal. And your friends like, oh my gosh, I can't be Trevor, I can't be, you know. What was that at the time? What was that like for you? Trevor, come on, Trevor.
I'm just thinking, again, I think we have to really owe it to Pam. Yeah. She is, we were well drilled. And I suppose she gave us a sense of confidence. We weren't cocky as a choir, we knew what we could do. And because of who she was, and she made us confident anywhere we went. So whether we were doing corporate stuff, TV stuff, massive conventions, from the thousands. Once we stood up and she was in front of us, and obviously we had some phenomenal musicians, and just the fusion, and we just, once the first note, boom. Yes. I mean, as Cliff was talking, what made us, I think, unique as well at that time, we were singing the kind of songs or American type songs that other choirs would not even Kojic. You know what I mean? We were singing the full plethora of them, from the Triboros, the James Clevelands, the Hawkins, and other choirs weren't doing them. And we just did them, and we did them with excellence and just our panache.
And do you think
Highgate was Highgate, man? Still is.
It is Highgate, yeah.
Still is.
Do you think, you just said about the songs being sort of the more complex songs that maybe others wouldn't attempt. Would you put it down to your the training? You said Pam McIntyre done an amazing job training you. Do you think it's to do with that? Do you think it was your kind of exuberance, or your what's the word you'd use? Is it your I guess, you know, when you listen to new songs, a lot of people just like what they like and they stay where they are. But you obviously were listening to new music, going down to TLC, which I did as well. I remember going to TLC and listening to new stuff. I'm much older than I look at it, clearly. But the point is, like, it's something where you guys were inventive, I guess, and a bit more creative maybe than some others would have been at the time. Where did that come from?
And again, as you're talking, right, we had our own songwriters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't know if Sandra want to say anything, but I mean, obviously...
She definitely does. She does.
Come on, because I can talk. Yeah? Okay, because obviously we had some phenomenal songwriters amongst us, the Tony Beans, the Glenn Mackenzies, Gladstone. So whilst we're doing all of those other kind of other covers, we had our own, which made our songs unique. And so when you put all of those ingredients together, it was phenomenal back in that time. And we were just, as somebody said, it was Aaron used to say, we just love to sing. So anywhere we went, we just love to sing. We just... Yeah, go on.
And with Pamela as well, she made it exciting. We looked forward to practice. It was like, what's going to be next, you know, and what's going to be after that, and what's going to be after that, you know, all the different harmonies. And we learned things that would just blow us away, you know, and it was just so exciting every time we had practice, and then we looked forward to when we was going to go on stage and sing them and things like that, and it was really, really a wonderful time. Yeah.
So I feel like I've been robbed having not met Pam yet because she sounds phenomenal. But also, all I say is, from my own experience with you guys, when we were at the Soul House for the single launch, and I can't remember who instigated the song. I think it might be you, Trev, but there was a song, and everyone started singing the song. And it was like everybody slipped into their harmony immediately. There was no sliding around the notes. It was like literally like, bap. But you can testament to the teaching.
It was all about perfection, in fairness to her.
Excellent.
She was all about perfection, about excellence, about pronunciations. And a lot of things that we did was because of her. Even now when we sing by ourselves, myself included, we sing according to the way Pam taught us. So the words that we pronounce are proper.
Yeah.
And the way we express ourselves is the way she taught us. So if we're giving, we really gave out. We give off the best, as it were. So that's who Pam was for us. And that's where we all are. That's where we all are.
Just an exciting time.
Yeah.
Let me just say one thing, and then I'm going to
Finally.
This lady, Pamela McIntyre, she said to us, right, we're going to do 3-4 songs in a night.
That's right.
Did we do these songs?
Yes.
Did we perfect these songs?
Yeah. And we sang them the following
And then we
day.
were going Saturday to sing these songs. And that's how it was.
On
On a coach.
Going down to London.
And I think that's what she instilled in us, that we could do it. Right, and it was never going to be a problem. I mean, you know, we were cheeky and we would mess about and all of this, and Pamela would just look at us one time and we knew. So when it came to being serious, we had to do it. Like, sometimes she get really mad with us, but we delivered, and that's all I can say. Really, we just delivered.
Yeah.
You did.
Effortlessly.
Yeah, you can see that.
Right, you know, so yeah, that's my input.
Yeah. Now, as someone who was not there at the time, to hear you guys sing now, the discipline you have is clear that the teaching was. So, like 1984 was the year that I was born, right? So that's not the significance. So the significance of that year for us is that you guys went down to Wandsworth and performed there. Who remembers that day, that night? What was that experience like? Go on, Cliff. Over to you. Wandsworth.
Yeah. Wandsworth was it was our first live musical recording, and it was Word UK that approached us. We didn't even have to put a penny up front or anything like that. They came to us, and I think because we'd done a lot of the promotion anyway by being on the TV. Was it on the TV at least every month, if not twice a month? Because they just invited us, didn't they? Yeah, and different events. Wandsworth, the live recording was amazing, and then having again, like I say, Fritz McIntyre, wow, the cat, Tony Bean, Junior Martin, Gladstone, Wilson, those musicians, and they've played for all the top groups anyway, sessioned for them, so top gospel groups, and secular as well. Yeah, because they've got the gift. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, we were talking about Pam a minute ago, and I think there was another comment about the legend that is Pam McIntyre.
Yes, Pam indeed was a legend, but the uniqueness about this choir as well was in choir practice, rehearsals, the Holy Spirit would take over. We would be singing on stage, and you know, the Holy Spirit would just take over the singing. And we would all break down, and souls would be getting saved. And I think for me, really, that's what kept us. That's what we sing and we feel it. And others feel it as well. And I think that was what was special about this choir, ultimately.
I can testify to that, because when you sang for us at the Soul Cafe, it was like, Soul Kitchen, sorry. I was like, this is real, you know. I've been around lots of music, and a current crop of artists you hear. There's great talents, great artistry, there's lots of good stuff going on. No criticism at all. But when you guys were singing, you could feel, the people use the word loosely, so you can feel the oil. Like there's a, and I really loved that about what you did.
Also, in fairness, we're a group, but we're friends and we bounce off each other.
Yeah.
So we know how to sing together. So if one person singing one, we can all just jump in and sing with them because we've always been together and we're united, as it were. And as Rosie said, the Holy Spirit is in us, and the Holy Spirit does take over when we're singing. We've been here at practice and we are singing, and suddenly the Holy Spirit just hits in, and straight away the presence of God just falls down. And we're still singing, but we're still worshipping at the same time.
A classic one was a bit kind of morbid, was at Bishop Williams's funeral. So we hadn't sung for over 30 odd years at that point. Perhaps we didn't ever see that happening, in all honesty. But we were asked, the family asked us to sing, because obviously Maureen and Pam members, so they asked the choir. And so the full choir, well, the majority, this is only a reflection, but other members, key members were there. And it was a funeral, but trust me, that song.
Williams was one of our...
Right, one of our fans, anyhow. So, I mean, he was our bishop. Yeah, so we were doing a tribute and an honour. And I'm telling you, I had people who were watching it on YouTube or what have you. And I think maybe that song that we sung, "The Lord is my light and my salvation," every time we sing that, there's a particular grace and oil on that song. If you don't mind, Sharp, Bishop would have come out of the... It was one of them. You could feel the atmosphere shifted. No, it changed. And it's not being braggadocious. It's just a great... It literally changed. And people were watching it on YouTube and they were going... It was Vidal. It was... I don't know if they were... Or Decima, they were in the what's in. They said when we opened, just like a sea, you got that revelation, picture in Revelations, when the Lord is speaking, all the angelic voices, and then it sounds like on the waters, and you could feel it. You knew the Holy Spirit had, and that's just an echo. That's what used to happen when we used to go out on occasions. Yeah, man.
I think
it was just exciting. Just that sort of time, it was just exciting for all of us because we was all young, and it was there weren't much things happening around. That was our time, sort of going off to London. In amongst our family, our dad used to say to him, "It's not everything you should be going down to. You don't have to go turn down some of the stuff." He used to say, because like I said, we was all over the country every weekend, sort of thing. But we did it because it was ministry, not performance. It was ministry, and it was really exciting. And as Maureen said, we was bouncing off each other, and it was great because we're all growing up together. So we're all happy with each other. So it came out in your ministry, what we was doing. It was very exciting.
I don't know if you guys see, and I wonder, at the time Don would have mentioned to you, "Look, guys, I'm feeling this. It's 40 years next year. What are you saying?" kind of thing. What was the first thoughts that you were having? Like, surely you can't be doing this now. Surely, what were your thoughts about doing it? Now we're here on the other side of doing it. Like, how did it feel when you first got the message or the call from Don and he says, "I'm doing it"?
I said okay.
I said yeah. I think we'd in 2019 we'd actually done a reunion concerts by ourselves, because that's the majority of the choir members felt that we wanted to do it, and we think, okay, we've done it and we've put it to bed. But having the conversation with Donovan, it was a different proposal and a different vision that he presented to us. And I think just by seeing what he wanted to do to recognise the legacy of the choir made it so very easy for all of us to say, yes, we want to be part of it because we understand what you're doing. And I was saying to Maureen that where the project started, it's now got teeth, legs, arms and a body from the initial vision. And that's not a bad thing, it's a really good thing. But you see the energy and the enthusiasm and the love that we have is because of the ministry that we still carry within us. We had a message given to the choir that we're no longer on the trash heap. God he hasn't finished with us yet. So no matter how much, if we wanted to say, no, we don't want to do it, the Lord is saying, actually, there's more in you that I still want you to deliver. So this project has just helped a lot of us just to continue to use our gifts and develop our gifts. So yeah, we're grateful for the opportunity.
I love it. Anybody else?
I actually said no.
Yes,
I
he
did.
did.
And like having a conversation with Donald, and I says, nah, done that. Been there, got the T-shirt. Nah, I just couldn't see it. And then just thinking about it, I thought, well, why not? I came, sort of, I think it was the third sort of like rehearsals that I had, and I thought, yeah, and like what sort of got me excited was how we was bouncing off each other, and I was thinking back to the days when we were travelling up and down the country, and I thought, yeah, I like this. So it's been excited ever since then, sort of, really. So from a no to 100% yes now, sort of thing. So, yeah.
So Don, obviously the vision comes to you. Maybe you're walking through a field at night with the stars in the sky, and an angel appears and says, Donovan, you know, what was the moment when you heard that voice, or they felt that call to, I've got to do this? And then what took it from an idea like, I think we should do this, to, I'm going to sit down, plan this out and make it happen? What was the thing that triggered that for you?
I think it probably goes back to when Bishop Williams passed away, and at the drop of a hat, these guys will just sing, and I'm like, you guys sound great, you know. Like, you think so, Don? I'm like, yeah, you do, man. You really sound great. And it was, you know, it's great for me listening to everybody talk about it, because it was just so effortless, man. Do you know what I mean? So I think it was maybe 2 years ago, I was in Florida with Kath and Bev, and we were just having retrospective chats, you know, and I think I didn't say anything to them at the time, but I was just sort of just listening. See, I think we reached a point in the year, it was my nephew's wedding, and it was in the church. I heard another group of singers singing Divine, and I was like, yeah, I think we could do something, you know. And I'm sitting there at my nephew's wedding, and then in the reception, Tony and Patrick were there, and I mentioned it to them. And it was so funny because, like, Tony was just, like, full of trepidation. And then coming off Patrick was all this enthusiasm. I'm like, look, today's not the time or place to have this conversation. Yeah. So I did a FaceTime call with them both, and I sort of spoke about it from the legacy aspect of it. And I just feel like there's, like, a gap in history. And there's this myth that gospel music in this country came out of London. And it actually didn't, man. Do you know what I mean? There was I'm not going to name names, but there was a particular choir before the choirs that are saying that they were the first. So I guess the sort of stubborn side of me was like, no, I'm going to push this through, really. So, you know, sat with Tony and Patrick and just sort of formulated a plan, really, and how we're going to do this. And sort of when I think about these guys, like, they've been a part of my life, all my life. But it's the sort of fun thing for me is getting to know everybody now. Do you know what I mean? And then casting my mind back to being that 5-year-old kid sat on the bottom step of my family home. And then Saturday mornings just being pandemonium in the house, music playing all the different rooms and whatever. And I'm sort of sat there going, what on earth is going on? Then, like, 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 of my siblings just dart through the door. And I'm sort of sat there going, where are they gone? Again? Do you know what I mean? And it's just me, mum and dad, and the younger siblings of mine. And I'm like, this was just a repeated thing. And I'm like, what's going on? And then for the year to come when the record came, to see, like, your brothers and sisters on an LP, oh my God, my family's famous. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's, I mean, honestly, we had like an initial meeting just with the call, and the whole day I was like so nervous, like, oh, am I really going to do this? We had like a little chat and whatever, and I was like, okay, so this is, you know, me, Mr. Happy Music Guy, I want to do this, record a record and blah, blah, blah. And then they sang again, and I was just like, yeah, there it is. And that was just in the room, in the lounge there. And then the first day, actually getting them on the mic, I'm telling you, what came out of the speakers, it was goosebumps, man. And it's just been like that ever since. And, you know, getting them all back together, and it's just rocketed, man. Honestly, it's such a joy. That honestly, it really is, man. So I just feel like this group of people need their moment in the sun, man. And it's an absolute privilege and an honour to be able to facilitate that, man. And all the people that I've called in, honestly, I feel like I've got the cheat code. I go, guys, I'm doing this. Dave Coppy's like, Don, I'm there. Sabrina, I'm working, I'm there. And I'm just, Lindsley, I'm there. And I'm like, this is really easy. Everybody's just come. And the other beautiful thing is all the interconnections with everybody's got a story. Calling Roger, he was like, yeah, because my aunt knows such a, and I'm just like, this thing was meant to be. So like Pam said, to start with this little idea and just see it take on a life, it's been an absolute joy, man, to sort of see, man. And yeah, man, it's been all good.
I think something that's been really cool is that you've been able to get the LP put onto like Apple Music and Spotify, so we can listen to the old stuff and relive those moments with those songs. With the new sound you've got, with the new album that's coming out, obviously it's coming in later on in the year, but what do you think has happened in the time between that recording and now, in terms of the sound of the choir, the sound of the music that's accompanying the choir and stuff? What's the change there? What can we expect from that?
I think it's just modernised, and there's a natural growth. And I think, just to sort of tag on to what Trevor was saying, one of the great things about the choir, all the songs are brilliant, but the fact that our first release was an original song, do you know what I mean? There's songwriters in here, do you know what I mean? There's like preachers in here, there's pastors, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, all this gifting is sort of, for want of a better phrase, locked up inside of these people, man. People with TV shows, channels. I'm like, this is not a small thing, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And like you touched on earlier, people with less have been pushing out there, and I'm going, nah, man, there's some gems in here. We ain't even got onto the fact that this group of singers have arguably sang on one of the biggest records of all time. Not just of all time, you know, as in Something Inside So Strong. It's a gigantic record.
Huge.
Do you know what I mean? I remember in my early touring days being in Luxembourg in a cab and hearing it. And like, it was just me in the cab. And I said to the taxi driver, that's my family on this record. Couldn't understand a word I was saying. But the excitement, I just had to tell somebody. I was in Luxembourg, man. Do you know what I mean? So just being able to, you know, facilitate it and give it its like moment in the sun has been an absolute joy, man. So yeah, it's going to be modern. It's the same songs, and then a few that they were sort of famously known for singing. Yeah, it's been great, man.
So How Good Is the Lord is already out. You can listen to that now on all streaming platforms. The next single, which song is that, and when's it out?
It's going to be Prayer Changes Things, and it's the 1st of March. Yeah. So
this is all leading up to the big day in June.
June
we'll
the 15th.
have I can't wait for it. I'm so excited for it. But we get to hear, because honestly, before this, I'm being dead serious. I was looking forward to this as almost like a nostalgia thing to say, well, you guys you've done this thing. It's great, man. Well done. Congratulations, because to re-record is amazing. But to actually be excited to hear you perform, because I haven't got any hair on my head, but the hairs that are on the back of my neck are still there. And they were standing up on that night when you guys sang just in the room. I recorded it. I filmed it on my phone, and I played it on my radio show the next day, because I wanted people to feel the feeling of what I felt in that moment, because it was amazing to feel the voices, the warmth, the soul, the heart, the passion. It was something that is so rare, and it's something that you don't really get to hear in person very much. I don't think you understand. There's a connection you have got over the last 40 years that means there's something you can give when you sing that no one else can replicate. So there's other choirs that sing, great, really, really good, right? There's great choirs out there. There's not dismissing anyone's ability, but you can only give what you've got, and you guys have got that depth in there. And I think Don mentioned it then about the connection as well. Because you are all connected, there's a certain level of just like, we're together. And I love that about this choir. I think it's a really, really amazing thing. In terms of the future, I think I'd love to know, it sounds like a crazy question, but not so much now. Are you considering this being a thing? Are you considering that we may be a choir again over a longer period of time? Are we going to see you touring? Are we going to see you on the stage at Glastonbury? Like, you know, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. But I guess the question I ask you, to be more specific, is now you've done this and you got back into the swing of things. I mean, I saw you. In fact, I saw you the other day singing at the, what was it called, the name of the event you guys? The Archbishop.
Oh, at Lambeth Palace. It was
Lambeth Palace.
Celebration.
So there's a group that went down to sing. Sounded great. But what's it like gigging again and touring then? What's that like? Are you going to do it?
I think for me, it's about having fun. I'm at that age in my life now. I've got the kids sorted. They're all gone. And now it's the time to have fun. So if this gives us a modicum of fun and we can enjoy it. We went to Lambeth Palace and it was absolutely wonderful day. We were spoilt. We were looked after. It was absolutely wonderful. Why wouldn't I do that more?
Anyone else?
Got one that signed up.
We'll start with a solo then. Solo. I mean, one of the things I was excited to talk to you about as well, though, was to kind of get the, you know, there's always a story, and every time you get together, there'll be another story. Like, I never heard that one before. And I remember when we were at the Soul Kitchen, there's a story that was told, and people were like, when was this? I remember that. What are your favourite stories, anecdotes, moments of the last, well, not the last 40 years, but of being together as a choir? What are your favourite moments? What are the moments you think, I can't believe we did that, or can you believe that happened? I remember Tom was telling me about when you went to Scotland and the pastor...
Sandra has to tell us.
Sandra, and the pastor of the church. When I heard it, I was cracking up.
Possessed him or thought he could do that.
Give us time. What year was this?
Yesterday.
So 80s kind of time.
Yeah. We were young. We were fresh. Because we were taking this, you know, the big bus. We used to go on the big bus with the tons of sandwiches and everything. So we were prepared. We were never going to go hungry. So we get to this place and we're all shared out to different families. So, of course, there's me, Rose and Jennifer. So we're with the pastor's son. I don't know if it's because we were pastor's children. Anyway, we ended up with this family and we just got a connection. Anyway, the brother decides he's going to put boot polish on his face.
Lord have mercy.
Right? Did we do it, Rose? I don't know how that happened anyway. So Donovan has managed to dig out this picture and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that could never happen today.
That would be done.
Worse, I don't know how I never trample him down and that, but no. But it was all in fun.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, I mean, racism, yes, it was there. But it's not like today. You can't even say bar black sheep these days. I'm taking you tribunal and compensation and all of that. So it was funny, I'm not going to lie. But Paul was genuine, right? There was no underlying with him. He was not racist. He was just normal. And he was a fun guy because we like to have fun.
I can see that.
And I think I'm the biggest mess about her in here. So, you know, being put with that family was just right. So we laughed and we carry on. And if I hadn't seen that picture from Donovan, I totally forgot. So that did bring back, I was laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. So that was funny.
I love it.
You know, so Scotland was just, I don't know how we did that. We just put bags on the couch and we just went, didn't we? We didn't know where we were going to sleep, who was going to have us. Right. Was we going to have haggis with baked beans? You know, it's all of that. But we were treated like royalty. And these Scottish people were genuine Christians. Right? Their dad was the overseer. Paul's dad was the overseer. And once again, Pamela McIntyre's connection. Reverend McIntyre knew that family. And that's how we got up there, you know. So, you know, it's a lot of history there. So it was good. And so doing that, but Scotland was funny though. It was funny. So that was good.
But I would like just to, as we're closing out, I'd like to just ask, I don't know how to use, is it the matriarch of the choir? Mother Hen. Pastor Beverly Henderson. Firstly, obviously, I know that we all know this, but not everyone would know that you've been travelling back and forth from America every month to be here to make sure this was done. You're obviously someone who's been we call you mother hen because you're the mother hen of the group. You take care of everyone. You make sure everything's going well. You make sure everyone's behaving. I know Trevor takes a lot of your time up. I recognise that. Let's give the mic. Yeah, and you know, for you, this experience must be really interesting because you'll be one of the people that remembers everything from start to finish. I'm pretty sure. But also, you're someone who's seen it all, and now you're coming back. You've experienced this in a second period. I'll put it this way, I'm observing you, you're in a new phase of your life where you're having a second wind, I would say, or a third wind, or whichever wind you're in now. You're having another wind of life where it's like you're refreshing in the wind. So how has this felt for you to be a part of this again, knowing that you probably wouldn't have ever thought you'd be singing on the choir again, I guess, a couple of years ago? And I guess I would say, what would you want everyone to know who's on the choir, speak to the choir, about the connection, the family? Like, I'd love you to speak as the mother hen, to the choir as well. But after you told us about your thoughts and feelings about it first. Pastor. And I can jump on, there's an organ there, I can jump on if you need me to get them behind you.
No, when Donovan first mentioned it, as he said, or when we talked about it, and when he, after he spoke to his team, and I thought that would be a great idea. And I thought, okay, the choir coming back together. And I had just taken early retirement. So I know it's all in God's plan, because had I not retired, I wouldn't have been able to come. Mm. And then the testimony that I gave at your church, and then and the funds that were released. And it was easy for me. It was easy for me to just come because I know the type of people that I was with, that I sang with how many years ago. We were just, like, as we said, one big family. And I wasn't just mother hen, it was Sandra and myself. We always used to make sure they were fed. Wherever we went, the first thing we always make sure, where's the kitchen? What's this? What's the food? Do this, do that. We always made sure we took care of everybody else before ourselves. And just as everybody has mentioned, the Holy Spirit has a lot to do with our choir. And down to the youngest, which was Angela, when she was 5 years old, as I keep saying. I gave you an extra 5 years, which I was the oldest. But no, we came together and had fun, all of us together. That's all I can say. We had fun. And I didn't find it hard at all to keep coming back. I just blame Donovan, but what have you. I've got a few trips out of it now, because when I racked up my miles the other day, I'm going, okay, I can get a few trips coming back here for free. But no, it's been good. It's been great.
And I just wanted you to speak to the choir as well, because I think there's something in this reunion that is like a rebirth. Yeah, and it's like I said it to you, it's not a joke, like the second season of life or second phase of life, if you've gone from being the choir as youngsters, just having a carefree time, doing a great thing, making music, then you've gone on to live lives, become parents, have jobs, careers and all that kind of stuff, and it's all, and now we're in this phase of life where it's like, now I get to re-establish myself as something else. I'm not just a mum, I'm not just an employee, I'm somebody else, and recording artist. Yeah, recording artist.
That's right, we're recording artists.
Yeah, in fact, there are people in the choir who weren't always focused on the Lord, who weren't always singing gospel music with God in their hearts. They were looking at people in the choir thinking, and then they're getting married to each other. And obviously, if they want to reveal who they are, they can do that. But you keep your eyes on Jesus. And some people are listening to Pam, and some are watching other people in the choir. But, as the mother of the choir...
I think, and I keep saying to Donovan, I believe it's given people a new lease on life, and as being recognised, okay, we can still sing. It was mentioned, won't say names, somebody was worried about our voices. And I remember saying to Donovan, that didn't make sense, because we were going to church every Sunday. We were still singing. We may not be singing as a choir, but we were still singing. So I think it's given us a new I can see anyway, giving us a new lease in life and watching everybody still interacting as if we were just together. We've been together all this time. There's been no gap. Because I've been away from everybody almost 40 years, March coming. And to come back and we just fell into place.
I love it. I think it's a great story. It's a great experience. The show is happening in June. Since you're holding the mic, Lorena, can you tell us the details, the date, when people can find out where they can get tickets from, where they can go on social media to find Highgate Gospel Choir, the place they can connect with them? Because even on the social media, it's been a great place to look at people and learn who they are. I think that's really good, the profiles of the singers and the people who are in the choir. So tell us how we can find out more about Highgate and where we can get the information for the events.
We are all on socials at Highgate Gospel Choir. There's no underscore, it's just as it is. Our launch event is the 15th of June. It's a Saturday. We'll be at Town Hall. More details will follow. We're working with the promoters and a few people at the venue, but they will be on sale on Eventbrite. There'll be different tiers depending on your experience that you'd like to enjoy, but we have a works full for you all. So yeah, once we have more details, again, we'll talk to you all in the WhatsApp group, but we will have resources available for your family and friends to join us on this immense journey. We're looking forward.
Matt, it's been great talking to you. I'm so excited for the show. I really am. And I'm hoping everyone who hears this as well is thinking the same kind of thing. We've got to get there to make you feel us in the room, to make you do it again and again and again. Because I think it needs to happen again and again. No, next album after this, isn't it? We've got another album of songs here done, isn't it? Yeah, it's all good. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking part. It wasn't that hard, was it?
Following the success of their recent singles, How Good Is the Lord and Prayer Changes Things, Highgate Gospel Choir will be performing songs from their reimagined album, The Legacy Project, live for one night only at Birmingham's iconic Town Hall on Saturday, the 15th of June, 2024. This is a night not to be missed, and tickets are on sale now. Head on over to bmusic.co.uk. Highgate Gospel Choir live, Saturday, 15th of June, 2024.